Hello Tallahassee, we had ourselves another record-setting day temperature-wise across the Big Bend region. I'm meteorologist Jay Carstens and welcome to our Thursday edition of FSU Weather. Starting off those high temperatures once again. Another hot one around here, 85 degrees is the high spot in Perry. We hit a record of 83 here in Tallahassee, 1 degree higher than our previous record. And here's our national weather picture showing a fairly stagnant weather pattern that we've really been seeing for the entirety of the week. The stalled out frontal boundary over the southeast triggering plenty of rainfall and even some more interesting winter weather over parts of the plains. Not much of an issue for us for the next couple of days, although we're going to start to see the rain chances slowly picking up as we go into the weekend, as this 3-day forecast shows you right here. Sunny skies sticking around with temperatures in the lower 80s tomorrow. And then Saturday beginning to cool down just a little bit before the rain starts to work its way back in for Sunday. Coming up in the rest of the show, we have these record temps sticking around for a while, our West Virginia forecast, as well as a look at some outdoors and events. But for now, this is FSU Weather.
Good evening and happy Thursday. I'm student meteorologist Jordan Frazier.
And I'm student meteorologist Sarah Converse.
It was quite a hot one today. We hit a record high of 83 degrees, beating today's record of 82. And even yesterday, we actually tied our record of 82 as well. So breaking heat records seems to be the theme tonight.
Yeah, I'm not really caring for these warm temperatures that much. My hair is not liking it at all.
No.
No.
Combined with the humidity as well.
Yeah, I was sweating by the time I got to my classes today. It was really hot out today.
Yeah, I don't blame you. It's also our time to pick our state for today. So let's go ahead. I wonder which one it will be.
Hopefully it's a good one.
Alabama.
Alabama. So that's going to be the state for next Thursday. We're going to be forecasting as Alabama.
Yes.
It's going to be very interesting. I mean, it's going to be. I feel like it's going to be similar though to like our temperatures.
Very similar to our temperatures, especially in the south. But they also get the cold fronts as often as we do. However, they are farther north, so they tend to be a bit more intense, and they might even get some snowfall as well because of that.
Yeah, but for right now, I'm going to talk about what's going on in the Tallahassee area. For now, as I said, as for the past 12 hours, we did warm up very fast on the day. 6 degrees for that 7 a.m. Pretty nice right now. It's 79 degrees. It's partly cloudy. The dew point is at 62, making the humidity a little bit moderate. The winds are coming out from the south-southwest at 7 miles per hour, so it's a bit breezy. My hair was all over the place as I was going to class for the day. And as we get to our current temperatures, as I said, Tallahassee is at 79. St. Mark's is also at 79, so pretty warm throughout the Big Bend area. So it's really warm. We're going to be seeing these temperatures throughout the week as we go on through the rest of the week. For our current dew point, it's pretty moderate throughout the Big Bend region in the 60s, lower 60s. Tallahassee at 62, St. Mark's at 63, and Carabel at 68, a little bit higher since they are at the coast, so they're going to get some of that moisture from the Gulf. So pretty much it's pretty moderate out, but if you're a girl, your hair was all over the place. As I know, I had put hairspray on as I walked to the studio. And as for our satellite radar, we do have a cold front sitting over by the Tennessee area. But it's stalling out. As you can see, the rain just starts to sizzle out as it goes on through the rest of the day. It's not really going to bring much to our area except some little cloud cover. But once we get in through the rest of the week, we're going to have another disturbance come out that may bring more power to this cold front coming through into Saturday and Sunday. As for the drought monitor, Tallahassee is still in a drought for the moment right now since we didn't really have that much rain. We did have some showers early on 2 weeks ago, but it didn't really do much. As you can see, it did help out for early in the Panhandle. They did get 10 inches of rain, so they're not currently in a drought anymore, but we still are, and we desperately need that rain. And for your planned evening ahead, we are going to start off a little bit warmer at 74, but we're going to slowly cool down to 63. Still a little bit warmer out, but it's going to be really nice if you go out for tonight. For tomorrow, it's going to be 82, still warm for the rest of the week, so you really won't be needing your winter clothes for the rest of this week. It's going to be really warm out, partly cloudy. And for your 5-day forecast, it's going to be warm, as the rest of I said, and we will see some rain chances coming into the rest of the week, but for now, I'm going to send it over to Jordan.
Thanks so much, Sarah. We're going to take a farther look out. Let's go ahead and go for our national weather picture here. Notice this stalled front. This is our main story. It was a cold front yesterday. However, it has slowed down significantly due to high pressure just to the north and just to the south of it, preventing it from making any farther movements whatsoever. And that also resulted in these storms dying out, as you can see probably on the radar, those storms dying out, and even that snow just moving farther northward into the region, into the northeastern region. Let's go ahead and take a closer look with our satellite and radar. Those clouds are still sticking around just along that stationary front line. So pop-up showers are a possibility, but as you notice, they did die out. And farther out to the east, a lot of the mixed showers and the mixed snow that they were experiencing out there in northern Oklahoma, they are now rain showers this time, so it did warm up significantly. And notice how some of the snow as well moves farther to the northeast into northern New York and even into Vermont and New Hampshire. Current conditions right now, we have the warm East Coast and the cold West Coast. So we have Tallahassee at 79 degrees right now, New Orleans at 81, and Atlanta at 76. While you head over to the west, you're going to see Salt Lake City at 37 and Seattle at 38 degrees. So a large difference between the two sides here. Notice especially with the dew points sitting very moist over Tallahassee at 62 degrees and Miami at 68 degrees. But as you head farther west, it gets significantly drier. Denver with a 15-degree dew point and Billings at 6 degrees. Watches, warnings, and advisories, lots to talk about here. All this green, especially in the southeast, those are going to be flood watches and flood warnings, flash flood watches, and that is due to the stationary front just sitting over them and dumping a lot of rain over a short period of time, which brings a lot of these aerial flood watches. And just to the north, where they had a lot of that mixed weather and a lot of snow, they have winter weather advisories all the way out just north of Kansas City to Minneapolis, all the way out even to Boston as well. So we are going to see those conditions prevail over the next coming days. Futurecast radar surprisingly actually brings the front back together again. So I do say the pop-up shower is not out of the question over the next coming days. But it still stays over that region and shouldn't affect us so much. Will bring some rain into the southern Florida, but not much that they would otherwise expect this time of year. Our temperatures are going to stay rather calm throughout the next coming days as well. We're going to start to see mid-80s dropping down all the way into the mid-70s over the next coming days. We will see a lot of our wind stay about the same, very much a southeasterly flow. Saturday's severe risk, general thunderstorms are going to be the light green. It's going to stay to the west of our region, so we shouldn't worry about that. The dark green is going to be the marginal risk, and the yellow is going to be the slight risk for any kind of significant thunderstorms. Tonight's forecast, we're going to start to see cooling down just a little bit more. 57 degrees is going to be tonight's forecast for Tallahassee. 85 for tomorrow, and for Saturday, we're going to start to see much warmer conditions heading into there. But for now, let's go ahead and take it out to the lab where Jake's going to be standing by.
All right, thank you, Jordan. That severe weather graphic that you presented, it actually ties perfectly into what we're going to be talking about here. Sort of working out the difference between all these different severe weather forecast categories, because there are plenty and it can be sometimes a little confusing to look at. The first thing I'm going to say about this is not active. Do not worry. This is not a high-risk situation for Tallahassee. There is no severe weather in the immediate future, but this is what the SPC outlook, convective outlook, looks like. The Storm Prediction Center out in Norman, Oklahoma is what issues these severe weather forecasts. It's a 5-level outlook that's issued out to 3 days in advance from the current day up to some sort of expected severe weather event potentially. Areas of potential severe weather can be highlighted up to about 8 days out, however. The 5 risks that we're going to be considering are marginal, slight, enhanced, moderate, and high. Starting off with level 1, the marginal risk. It's the dark green color that you see right here. And what this represents is fairly low probabilities of damaging winds, large hail, and of course the potential for tornadoes. And these probabilities are expressed within 25 miles of a given location, so we're only at about 5 and 2% respectively. The slight risk, the yellow area, bumps those probabilities up rather significantly to 15% probabilities for wind and hail and 5% for tornadoes. That works its way up into the enhanced category. Some of these oranges, and that's when we start to see the potential for some really significant severe weather. For example, winds in excess of 75 miles per hour. The wind and hail probabilities jump up to about 30 to 45%, and this is also when we really start to kick up the tornado threat. None of that currently active anywhere in the U.S. as of now. The moderate risk, level 4 out of 5, something we see rather rarely around here, kicking up to about 60% probabilities on the winds and hail. And of course the high risk, which is very rare around here. The last time we saw that was January 22nd of 2017 as a severe weather outbreak that I'm sure a lot of us remember. For now, I'm going to take it back out to Jordan at the wall at the southeast.
Thanks so much, Jake. Luckily, we won't have to worry about that high risk coming to our region anytime soon. Even with this stationary front, we're only getting into the marginal risk area. So luckily, this will be no threat to us whatsoever, as it will stay to our northwest. Current conditions in Tallahassee, right now we're still sitting pretty warm at about 79 degrees. The rest of the state sitting warm as well, 78 for Orlando, under actually nice clear skies, 77 Key West under clear skies as well. To our north as well, it's a little bit warmer too. Montgomery, Alabama sitting at 82 degrees, and New Orleans out to our west at 81 degrees. So everyone in the southeast seems to be sharing the heat tonight. The dew point as well, so those very humid conditions remain throughout much of the southeastern region. Miami at 68-degree dew point, Key West at 68 as well. New Orleans actually hitting 70 degrees for the dew point, and in our region right now we're about 62, surrounding much of the tri-state area, as you can see with that. Current winds were being driven by this high pressure system out in the Atlantic. Some very strong easterly winds coming out of Orlando, 14 miles an hour. Miami at 14 as well, and Key West at 21 miles per hour. It starts to curve to the north a bit, and that's where our northerly winds are at about 7 miles per hour. So it's driving a lot of the moisture from the Gulf into our region and into the tri-state area, bringing a lot of these very humid conditions we've been experiencing. And it also helps to fuel a lot of these thunderstorms that are just sitting with that stationary front. Over the last 2 days, you're going to see Texarkana setting at almost 5.5 inches of rain over the past 2 days. Little Rock, Arkansas at about 4.5 inches. Greenville at 3.2 inches. And Shreveport at almost 4 inches of rain. Even farther out to the west, Dallas, Texas at 3 inches of rain. So a significant amount of rainfall. So that's where we have all these watches, warnings, and advisories. All those flash flood warnings, flash flood watches, even aerial flood warnings, as well as the flood warnings associated with a lot of the rivers that we see surrounding that area as that rain just continues to fall over their region. Tonight's forecast, we're going to start to see 57 degrees. We might get out of those 60s once and for all, and we hope to do that over the next couple nights as well. Savannah at 57, Montgomery at 59, and Atlanta actually hitting about the 60-degree mark. Tomorrow's forecast, we're going to start to see it warm up a good bit as well. 85 degrees, maybe breaking another record again. Does that seem to be the case, Jake?
Absolutely. That trend has really been the big thing all week as we see the last 7 days. Plenty of consistent low to mid 80s for the high temperatures here in Tallahassee, significantly above the average high, which is only in the upper 60s for this time of year. So that's really the whole point of this graphic we're showing you here, consistently above average. And that trend, despite a modest temperature drop off in the next week or so, is still going to be the case. The current conditions across the tri-state area still very warm, and sun's all around. 79 degrees under partly cloudy skies here in Tallahassee. 79 sunshine in Albany as well, and even warmer out to our west, Meridian, Mississippi, sitting currently at 83 degrees just out ahead of that front you see over to the top left of the screen. Very sharp temperature contrast up there, and that satellite radar shows you a pretty similar picture. That temperature contrast is where all the big rain is. Around here though, looking just fantastic, nothing but just some scattered low cloud coverage in our picture. The dew points, Still pretty high. We're still seeing a lot of that moisture funneling in out of the south, the same picture we've really been experiencing all week. So you'll see a couple of spots like, say, Valdosta that are down into the 50s for those dew points, but otherwise pretty much 60s all around, more indicative of the late spring to perhaps even the early summer months with regards to that. The winds are largely, once again, out of the south, 7 miles per hour here in Tallahassee, 10 out of the southeast in Valdosta, funneling in all that moisture right there out of the Gulf, contributing to a little bit of a muggy feeling for us, but nothing really beyond that. Here's a national weather picture showing you that trend continuing with this ridging pattern set up over the western Atlantic Ocean. And that stationary front draped across the southeast, triggering all that rainfall, and of course what we've been seeing out in parts of the plains as well, as Sarah and I will talk about in just a little bit. Some really fun weather going on out there. As for us here, the evening planner, pretty much a similar picture to what we had the last few nights. 74 degrees, what we're going to be seeing right around the end of showtime here at 7 o'clock. Cooling down into those lower 60s with the partly cloudy skies sticking around, so looking like yet another rather nice night to get there, to get outside. For tomorrow, heating up into the lower 80s as we get towards the afternoon hours, so we could be looking at day 7 or 8 in a row here where we're getting above the 80-degree mark. One of our longer streaks that we've been seeing for that, at least for this time of year, in quite some time. For the week ahead, again, the real story that we're going to be looking at is this slow drop-off of temperatures over the next few days, consistently going about a few degrees cooler each time here until we hit about 73 degrees for that high on Tuesday. The rain chances start to creep back into the picture as well before another burst of warmth works its way in mid to late next week with a high of 85 in the picture for Thursday. But for now, we have our State of the Week forecast with Sarah.
Thanks. So our state today was West Virginia, and as you can see, they're getting a little bit more interesting weather than we are here in Florida. Right now there's a cold front sitting over their area, bringing some showers and cloud cover into the area. And it's going to fizzle out, as you can see right there, and it's going to you see the precipitation go away. Actually, these current temperatures, they're a lot cooler than we are here in Florida, so I kind of wish I was over there because I'm not really liking these warm temperatures. For Charleston, it's 51 degrees. Huntington is 47, so really nice temperatures. You can see 63, a little bit warmer down south of West Virginia. But pretty nice temperatures throughout. As for that cold front, it's bringing some flood area watches. So for those people down there, up there, they need to be careful of that, so make sure you watch those watches as you go throughout the day with that cold front. And as I said, that cold front is going to come through, bringing in some of that rain. But the weird thing about this cold front, it's going to turn into a warm front. As you can see later on through the day, you can see more precipitation come. There's that warm front coming through. So it's a really weird frontal system that's coming through, bringing in some of the rain in that area for West Virginia. So they're getting much interesting weather than we are. But for tonight for West Virginia, they're going to be much in the mid-50s and upper 50s, so really nice temperatures, a little bit lower than we are in the 60s. Charleston at 58, Lewisburg at 51, so nice temperatures throughout West Virginia. And as for tomorrow for West Virginia, pretty nice temperatures, really nice in the 70s. These are the temperatures that are really nice. I'm kind of jealous that they're having these temperatures in us in Florida. Charleston at 76, but they do have some of that cloud cover, which is going to make it a bit gloomy. But I'm going to head over to the desk with Jake. We're going to talk about more of that interesting weather since we're not really seeing much. It's going to be pretty much warm, and that's basically it.
Well, yeah, you said it was a really weird frontal system in West Virginia, and that's about as accurate a statement as you could possibly make. Some of the cool weather we've been seeing out in the plains really tells that story.
Yeah. You were talking to me about earlier in the show about there was like the thunder, snow, lightning.
Well,
yeah.
Thunder Snow, for those of you that have watched the Weather Channel, and of course have famously seen Jim Cantori's celebrations about it, we actually had an instance in Fort Sill, which is in southwestern Oklahoma, of thunder freezing rain. This front was stacked so interestingly that we had convective thunderstorm activity when the temperature was 35 degrees. That's not something you see every day.
Yeah, definitely. That's a really crazy though. I can see like Cantor like going nuts over that again.
Oh, absolutely. And of course, I also saw, at least I did through the power of the Twitterverse, reports of potential lake effect snow over Oklahoma, over some of the smaller lakes there. So once again, it's just really strange, really cool.
Yeah, definitely. But we're going to send it over to Jordan with our trivia.
Thanks so much, guys. I don't expect to see any kind of lake effect snow near us, as a matter of fact, anytime soon. We are far too warm for that. As a matter of fact, we're hitting record high temperatures consistently over the past couple of days. So, what is the highest recorded temperature in February in Tallahassee? That is our trivia question, and it will be answered later in a later episode of our show. So be sure to check it out on social media. We put it on our Twitter page. Be sure to get your submissions in. I think I know what my answer is. You might want to do maybe a little bit of research before you go ahead and submit this. So looking forward to see that. So be sure to follow us on our Twitter page at FSU Weather, and be sure to follow all of our other social medias as well. Maybe you watch our previous videos on YouTube or even Facebook as well. But for now, we're going to send it out to Sarah, who's going to talk a little bit more about some outdoor events and activities.
Yeah, I have a lot of outdoor events for you today, but right now we're going to bring it over a little bit overseas to the Olympic temperatures. Right now they're in the 40s, so pretty cool for that area. I'm going to talk about more about how they're going to potentially see some mixture and some snow. As you can see, there's a cloud cover from the last 24 hours, and once we get into that, there it is. You can see some rain and precipitation and some mix, and then also this little splurge right here of some mixture right there. So they're going to expect some snow and some mixture, so it's going to be a very interesting Olympics for this year if you tend to watch it. But also, root for USA. We're going to do, the U.S. men's curling is going to play against Sweden for that gold medal. It's going to be 45 degrees, a little bit cooler out. It will be breezy, so it's going to be a really nice, it'll be really cool for that day. We're not really going to see those temperatures here in the United States. It will start at Friday at 3:35 p.m., so root for USA for that gold. And also for golfing, it's going to be in Beach Palm Gardens. Their temperatures are going to be pretty warm, 82 for Friday, but as you can see, they're going to have some chance of some rain, so that may affect the golfing experience as they go out there. And also there's going to be possible chances of some wind gusts, so that also may play effect into that area. But pretty much pretty nice temperatures. Even those lows are pretty moderate throughout, so it's not seeing those 60s that we've been seeing. But bringing it back into Tallahassee area, the FSU golf, they're going to have pretty much the same temperatures. As you can see, our temperatures for their low are a little bit higher than, or lower than for Palm Beach Gardens. We're going to see chances of rain on Sunday, so not as much chances as they're going to do down in the south. But pretty nice temperatures, 82 on Friday, 81 on Saturday. So pretty nice temperatures if you're going to go root for FSU golf as they go golfing. And for FSU baseball, they're going to start 3 days, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. As you can see, temperatures are pretty much the same, 82 for that high, 74 for that low on Saturday, and also that 30% chance of rain. So if you do go out and support the FSU baseball versus Troy, it will be a bit wet on Sunday, so be prepared for have an umbrella just in case for that. Also, I did not know that we had a women's beach volleyball, so this is really cool. Go out to DeLand, Florida at Saturday at 11:30 a.m. We're playing against South Carolina at 3:30 p.m. It's really hot over there, so it's going to be 83. There will be, again, some chance of some showers, 20%, and that will continue on. That event will continue on to tomorrow. So if you want to go out to that, if you have no plans for the weekend, go support that. That sounds really interesting. And for also some more FSU events, FSU women's basketball is playing Saturday at 4 p.m. against Georgia Tech. It's going to be, warm again, so you will make sure you stay hydrated as you go out to the Tucker Center if you go out to watch the game. And also our men are playing as well too. They're playing, but not in Tallahassee, they're playing in North Carolina. They're at Sunday at 6 p.m. They're going to be 78, but there's going to be some chance of showers at 50%, so it's going to be pretty wet out there. So make sure you have an umbrella if you do go out and support our FSU men's basketball. And for your weekend events, FSU softball is coming up, and also FSU men's tennis, and then FSU the Mag Lab opens on house opens. So there's a lot of events going around. As I said, Golf Index is at 5, so it's going to be a pretty nice day to go out to these events if you don't have nothing to do. But for now, I'm going to send it over to Jordan.
Thanks so much, Sarah. Great day to go golfing tomorrow. However, let's bring it back to today, where we hit our record high of 83 degrees, beating the 1962 record of 82. Look at our lows as well, almost 20 degrees above where we normally at. It looks closer actually to our average high we're supposed to see this time of year. So very warm and above average conditions will remain for the next about week or so. Even that cold front doesn't seem to cool us down a whole lot. Right now, we haven't cooled down a whole lot much either from our high today, 79 degrees under partly cloudy skies. That dew point is still significantly high at about 62 degrees, so 56% humidity right now, and not much wind to really take it away from us as well. Big Bend region sitting in the mid to low 80s as well as the mid to upper 70s. 77 St. Mark's, 79 Tallahassee, 80 Monticello, 80 in Valdosta, and 76 in Perry. So warm conditions are shared throughout much of the Big Bend region tonight, as well as humid conditions. 64 degrees is the dew point in Perry, 63 in St. Mark's, and down by the coast, Apalachicola and Carabel, both at 68 degrees. That is to be expected, though, as they are by the ocean where there is more moisture. Satellite and radar showing that stationary front just to our northwest starting to fizzle out over there. Not going to affect us at all over the next coming days. Notice our cloud cover starting to move out of our area, so that will affect our temperatures, bringing them up a little bit more in the day, just like we noticed. A lot of the stationary front is our main story right now. Notice how it is starting to die out in terms of severity with the storms. A lot of our humid conditions are actually brought by the winds that are preventing this front from moving to our region, but it is bringing us a lot of very warm and moist conditions over the next coming days, and that is why we are breaking records, and we are staying very above average. 63, partly cloudy is tonight's conditions, under nice calm winds, again, still very far above our average, which should be in the upper 40s. Tomorrow, we're going to see about the same story as we did today. Clouds actually breaking a little bit later as you head into your lunch hour. 76 degrees, still significantly warm for this time of year, but nothing if your native Floridian can handle. It's topping it off by the afternoon at about 82 degrees. The next week ahead, we're going to start to see those temperatures cool off a little bit as we have our next frontal system moving in. So you're going to start off your work week a little bit wet, but it will start to warm up again as those clouds start to dissipate. We will start to see much better conditions over the next coming days. But for now, we are going to send it off to the desk where Sarah and Jake, they're going to close off our show.
Yeah, thanks, Jordan. So pretty much some interesting temperatures. I mean, pretty much warm, but we will see that rain come in. I'm kind of looking forward to the rain. I kind of want to break from the warm temperatures. I want something interesting.
Yeah, a little bit of a stagnant pattern there. And if we get that 7-day back up, I saw something really interesting. Was that a number below 60?
What?
Yeah, it's
55?
It's been a while since we've seen anything like that, so I had to just make sure we weren't going crazy.
Yeah.
But there you go. Monday is really looking like the day. We could be looking at some pretty big rainfall chances, 50%, which is, of course, the highest we've seen in a while. So you'll want to be prepared as we get that week started, making the final push here towards spring break.
Yeah, definitely. As you're heading out to your classes, make sure you have an umbrella. It's better safe than sorry.
Exactly. And we're all over social media if you want to keep up. We're on Twitter, of course, at twitter.com/FSU Weather, where the poll is.
And also like us on Facebook at FSU Weather, too.
And we're streaming live currently on YouTube at youtube.com/FSU Weather/live.
And also follow us on Instagram, too, at FSU Weather.
All right. And like we've been talking about here, looking like a pretty really fantastic next couple of days ahead.
Yeah.
A lot of events that you just talked about, so
There's a lot of
get
events.
outside for that. Saturday
Yeah.
is fantastic. Partly cloudy skies, low 80s. It's pretty much the last chance we're going to get before the rain chances work their way back
Yeah,
in.
definitely. But for us here at FSU Weather, I'm student meteorologist Sarah Converse.
And I'm meteorologist Jay Carsons. We'll see you same time, same place tomorrow.
Have a great night.